So I'm not hating Zach LaVine, I'm just not trying to give up Tobias. Now if it's somebody else we can give up, and I'm not really big on giving up Matisse either, and we got to think about the guys who have the most trade value. Tobias, Matisse, and Shake, and those are all guys who are budding with potential and budding with long-term value for the team. So what's poppin'? Welcome back to another video with me, Simone. So today we're going to be talking about Zach LaVine and Zach LaVine's chances of coming to the 76ers. Now, a lot of people in the beginning of free agency and the beginning of the trade period for this NBA season, a lot of people wanted to see Zach LaVine come to the 76ers. Of course, that's before we made our moves to get rid of Al, before we added Seth, before we added Danny Green and Dwight. So I think our unit is much better now than when people were first projecting us to trade for Zach LaVine. But we're gonna talk about Zach LaVine because a lot of you guys have been bringing him up in my comments for the last 2 weeks. So you know I got to give the people what they want. So make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, and keep rocking with me. It is day 5 of Vlogmas NBA edition, so let's get into the video. So as of right now, I'm not super pressed for the 76ers to get Zach LaVine, even though I know some people are still interested in Zach LaVine. That is going to mean we're going to have to give up Zach LaVine. Let me break down his contract first of all before we get into him, because first we got to understand his contract. So he is obviously 25 years old. This season he is set to make almost $20 million. Next season he'll make $20 million. Then he'll be an unrestricted free agent in 2022. So it is good that it's not going to be a long-term marriage if we do end up trading for Zach LaVine. Obviously Daryl Morey said he wants to see how our unit looks now first before the trade deadline, which is in March. So first let me talk about the upsides of getting Zach LaVine before I shoot the idea completely down. So obviously Zach LaVine, he had a career year last year. He averaged 25.5 points per game. He shot 45% from the field, 38% from the three. He had 4.2 assists per game last year, which is huge because it's not like he has superstar guys around him. He's a guy who can pretty much score from anywhere, can penetrate the defense with his shot and with his dynamic ball handling. And he's also a guy who is young enough to still grow with the team. You know what I mean? That's great, a long-term option for the 76ers. Now, obviously the Bulls are pretty much in shambles. They like what they got in Kobe White, but I just don't know what their future is. I don't know if they're trying to rebuild right now. Obviously if we give them some picks, that'll be perfect for them because they are obviously trying to build right now and try to find their identity. But I'm not trying to trade anybody like Tobias Harris. And obviously Tobias Harris, behind Ben and behind Joel, Tobias Harris also obviously has our most lucrative contract and, you know, one of the top probably trade assets we have, especially for someone as dynamic as Zach LaVine. But I'm not trying to trade Tobias right now because Tobias, guys, he's going to have one of his best years with Doc Rivers. He had his best year with Doc Rivers in the past, and Doc Rivers already said he's going to create plays for Tobias Harris. He's not just going to create plays for Ben and Joel and let Tobias just be a third wheel out there doing nothing willy-nilly. So he's going to put Tobias in a situation where he can succeed. And he also said that Doc said that he's going to be heavy with the pick and roll, and obviously the pick and roll is something that we really didn't use as heavily with Brett Brown. So Tobias Harris is obviously very effective in pick and roll situations. So we're going to see what that creates for our offense with Tobias. And Tobias had his best years with Doc, and he's going to be reunited with Doc. And Doc already said how excited he is to be reunited with Tobias Harris. And even when he wasn't playing with Doc last year, Doc was still singing Tobias's praises. So I just don't see Tobias leaving, and especially since Tobias is a guy that is one of our core pieces, and we got a lot of newness right now with the 76ers. We don't want to blow up our core, and Tobias is one of our cores. Joel is Ben, and then Tobias has really grown into a leader for the team. Don't forget he was our leading scorer last season. So it's going to be much better for him this season once he has more shooters who can help take the load off of him and open things up for him as well. It's not just about opening up things for Ben and Joel. We can open up things for Tobias too. So I'm not hating Zach LaVine. I'm just not trying to give up Tobias. Now, if it's somebody else we can give up, and I'm not really big on giving up Matisse either. And we got to think about the guys who have the most trade value. Tobias, Matisse, and Shake, and those are all guys who are budding with potential and budding with long-term value for the team. So I'm not really keen on giving those up. Not for somebody like Zach LaVine. If it was somebody like, I mean, I don't know, I feel like we give up Tobias for Zach, it's going to be kind of like, do we move the needle? And that's the question we got to ask. Now, I do want to get a veteran guard. That is something I do think we need. And obviously, we're not going to give up Tobias for that. So I do think we need a veteran guard. And that's what I'm really looking for right now before the trade deadline. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think we should still get Zach LaVine? I know you guys are heavy in the comments talking about Zach. So I know you guys are still interested in him. But let me know after we talked about this, like after I broke it down for you guys, are you still interested in Zach? So stick around, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe and keep rocking with me.